So we are finally here, the knockout stages of the 2024 CHAN tournament happening in three countries, Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. And if maybe by chance you still don't know what CHAN is, well, CHAN is the Africa Cup of Nations, but it's for players who are playing domestically in their countries. So for Kenya's team, for instance, it's only players playing in Kenya who are in the national team. So for today, I'm doing a big preview, the quarterfinal one game between the first host nation, Kenya, and also the quarter, or let me say the bronze medalist from the last edition, Madagascar. So it's a big game between these two sides. And I'm doing a preview for this game.
I don't know what I'm doing.
All right, so as I mentioned, it's a preview for the game between Kenya and Madagascar. It's a fourth one, a very big one in this match in the quarterfinal of the CHAN. So let me first start with the Kenya team, the home team for this game. And Kenya, as I mentioned, are the host nation for the CHAN in 2024. And it has shown in all the games they played so far, having an almost full stadium in all the matches, except for the game where they had a bit of a limit, a cap in terms of the fan attendance. It's been a full stadium in all the games, and the performance on the pitch has resonated with the numbers attending the game. So in Group A, which was a very difficult group against Morocco, DRC, Angola, and also Zambia, guess what? Kenya not only finished the group unbeaten, but also were on top of the group. So they're actually the only team in Group A, which many call the group of death. And they were the only team in that group not to lose a game. So after playing 4 games in the group stage, they got 10 points, winning against Morocco with 10 men, I must say, winning also against DR Congo, and then winning against Zambia also. Then they got a draw against Angola. So it was 10 points for the Kenya national team, the Harambee Stars of Kenya. And it was an impressive outlook for them so far in the group stages. Also, one thing to note or to mention or to even look up to has been the performance of some key players in the Kenya team. And one name which resonates with a lot of people as of now is Ryan Wesley Ogum, who has been amazing in the last 2 games. He scored in the game against Morocco. That was the last but one game Kenya played. And also in the last game when Kenya needed a goal to finish top of their group, he was the man who stepped up to get that goal for Kenya. And he's been on the lips of almost every other person. So he's one key player to watch in this quarterfinal clash. Also, another player you have to mention, of course, has to be Austine Odhiambo, who in the very first 2 games, he had his time in the very first 2 games, scored in the first game against DRC and also scored in the second game against Morocco. But then he was on a bench. Sorry, he scored in the second game against Angola. The second game was against Angola. But then he was on a bench for the third game against Morocco. And according to the head coach, Benny McCarthy of Kenya, it was because some of the players were fatigued after they played the second game. So he was part of those who were deemed to be fatigued. So he didn't get to really play that third game. And it seemed to have taken a sting out of his performance because he couldn't really perform to that highest level he had played in the first 2 games in the last game he played against Morocco. But then it's now time for the quarterfinal. Players will be coming in fresher and also all newer in this stage. Now let's get to talk about Madagascar, who have been, should I say, a discovery? Probably not so, because they are actually the bronze medalists from the last edition. So in the 2022 CHAN tournament, Madagascar won the bronze medal. They were the 3rd best team in the CHAN, and they are coming this year to probably do better than that. So losing against Kenya will probably be not that good of a result they would have wanted. But then their journey to this stage has also been a super one. They played their first game against the Central African Republic, which was actually the debut, the first ever game for Central African Republic in any senior CAF tournament. So Central Africa had never qualified to AFCON. They had never qualified to CHAN. They had never qualified to World Cup. They had never qualified to anything at the senior level. So it was their first ever appearance. And their first game was against Madagascar. They actually beat Central African Republic by 2-0. And also when they played their game against, that is, Mauritania, who were one of the favorites to qualify from this group, it was a 0-0 draw, a goalless draw, and qualified out of this group on goal difference, actually. So for Madagascar, they've made it again to the knockout stages and we want to better the bronze medal they won in the last edition. So there's a lot of key matchups to watch in this game when Madagascar play against Kenya in the quarterfinal number 1. And first of all has to be the playing style of both teams. For Kenya, it has been a very, very, should I say, battle sort of playing style, because in the first game they played against DRC Congo, they had a very good first few minutes. Then they went under pressure for a lot of the time, and they showed a lot of discipline in the game. They showed a lot of tactical astuteness. They showed a lot of being able to cover up for each other. And I think they've had one of the most goal line clearances in the competition so far. I think about 2 or 3 goal line clearances because every player is always covering for each other. They've shown a lot of high spirit, determination in the game, especially being backed by their home fans. For Madagascar, they've also showed a lot of very tactical discipline, especially led by their coach. So it's going to be a bit of fun to see when the two sides get to face off. But also another bit of a matchup has to be the two coaches for Kenya. For Benny McCarthy, the head coach of Kenya, he has really, really built a strong team, resilient team that is able to withstand any condition and still come out with the result. So in this CHAN even itself, so far, Kenya have played 2 games with 10 men, and every time they went down to the 10 men, they haven't even considered a goal all this time. For Madagascar, well, they come to this CHAN with a familiar face in Romuald Rakutondrabe. That is their head coach. He was the coach for Madagascar when they won the bronze in the last edition. So he knows the experience of having to win a medal at this tournament. He knows the experience of having to navigate through the knockout stages, even the quarterfinal of this tournament. And he also understands what it takes to win knockout stages game. So it's going to be a classic matchup when the two coaches face off in this fierce quarterfinal game. So this quarterfinal clash is simply a battle between proven success in Madagascar because they are the last bronze medalists of the CHAN, and also the fighting spirit and also the enthusiasm and determination of the Kenya team alongside their home fans, who is going to thrive the most. For Kenya, they want to play the final of the CHAN, and that means they will have to win this game against Madagascar because the final is going to be in Kenya and they want to be the host nation. So who wins it at the end? Let me know in the comment section whether it's Kenya or Madagascar.